The final part of the painting is called the contrast stage. Now what this does, it gives us some real depth to the painting by adding darks and lights. So in other words, using black to deepen the shadows, to strengthen some of the markings, the stripes, and also finally finishing off with the white, really to bring things out of the painting. But let's begin with the black. Now our central focal point needs to be around the face. So the markings around the face need to really stand out. You've got them established already at the first stage, so it's just a question of going in with your black hard pastel and pepping them up, just giving them a little bit of a lift. Now some of the subdued black is fine in areas where we don't want to focus on, but the areas we do need to focus on need to be brought out again, need to be really sharp and crisp and well defined. Be careful, as before, to follow the direction of the fur, make them nice little fur-like strokes using the corner of your pastel. Now is the time also just to check for details, just to make sure you've got everything in place. As you can see, it's really the stripes that make this painting come to life. The stripes give all the forms and the shapes that you need. Before we come round to the mouth, I'll just finish off the ears, because we've got these little black tips that need to be quite strong. A few hairs inside the ears as well, just one or two. You don't need an awful lot. And then we'll come down to the mouth. We've got these whisker lines, which are very important. They give shape to the muzzle, the way they curve round. Again, just sketch them, rough lines like that. You don't need to do individual follicles. And then we can put this nice dark shape around the mouth that comes down into the chin. All tigers have this lovely dark mass just underneath that muzzle. It all helps to create that shape. And then we'll just pep up one or two of the stripes on the legs. Don't go as strong as the stripes in the head. Just make sure you can see them. And again along the back and the belly, keeping all the focus in the face, so we don't need to go as strong on this side at all. Notice now you have these stripes already established, you can work over it again quite quickly. So all the hard work has been done for you right at the beginning, and the rest of it is just a case of relaxing and adding colour and going over the areas you've already drawn out. A couple of little shapes for the paw pads there, toes, claws. All you need at this stage are suggestions. The highlights and the shadows will suggest all the shapes for you. And let's finish off with the front paws, claws, toes. Same on this side, claws and toes. And that's all we need for the black. The final part is adding the white. There's a lot of white on the tiger anyway, which we need to bring out. But also we're going to add some white on top of the yellow that we put down earlier to give a kind of creamy ivory coloured white. So let's start in the head again. Using the same strokes, these fur strokes, the sharp edge of the pastel, just go over Naples yellow, and you can see how that's bringing it out as a sort of creamy colour. Again down the side, just adding a little bit of white on top of the yellow, that's all you need to do. Before we go any further down, we'll put some odd little white hairs inside the ears and around the mane, or the ruff, whichever you prefer. And now we've got some really white bits in the face, particularly around the eyes, so let's just get those in. We should have left these as blank paper earlier on. This will give us a nice crisp white for those really striking white markings, particularly around the eyes. A little bit around the muzzle too. And the muzzle is quite light as well, so let's just shape that around the nose and the chin. Nice white hairs coming down the chin. A few more in the ruff. And let's go on to the belly. The belly is quite white as well, so we'll just bring some fur back in the same direction as we did with the black, letting it fade down into the grey so we get a nice soft shadow as it comes down. Remember, the grey is the shadow of the white fur, so we need to see some of that still. And then a little bit of ivory colour in the back leg. Again, this is where we painted it Naples yellow in the beginning, so just adding white to it will make it a nice creamy colour. And the same in the chest. Nice creamy ivory yellow, just by adding white onto the top. And then these lovely little white toes, we'll put those in quite crisp. Just sketch a few lines to suggest the fur, that's all you need. A bit more white on there, I think, just to make it stand out. And then we have the tail. Of course, we've got black and white tail, so we need the white in there as well. And a couple little white toes on the back paws. And we're about there. The final part that we haven't spoke about yet is the whiskers. Now the whiskers are fairly straightforward. A tiger has a lot of whiskers and some of them are quite thick and long. What you need to do is to decide your starting point and your finishing point, and then just applying the pastel with the sharp edge, just stroke and flick. Stroke and flick. Be committed. If need be, you can practice on a spare piece of paper first, just to get the hang of the length, the thickness that you want your whiskers to be. It doesn't matter again if they're not in the same place as the whiskers on your reference, just so long as you have a little variation in the curves and the lengths. Some are short whiskers, some are long whiskers, but there are lots of them. So maybe about a dozen each side, little flicks, and finally just soften the beginning, the leading edge of your stroke with your finger. A couple little more whiskers in the chin. And there he is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration of the tiger painting. As you have seen, it's just a series of simple stages and technique to get you from blank canvas to finished painting. So I really hope that you get a chance to go and see some of these animals for real and use the techniques to produce your own beautiful wildlife paintings.